Hey everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. I'm your host, John the Bod, aka the Bod Father, with my special co-host,
Gina.
We welcome in Brian Panic. He's the guitarist of Keychain, and they have an EP breaking out right now, and we're going to be talking to him about that. Plus, he is from Canada, and I think this is really cool because Canada's got some really cool bands up there, special local bands and stuff that need to get put out. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to try to do what we can to get Mr. Brian Panic and Keychain out there. So, Gina, take it. Oh, first off, how are you doing, Brian?
Hey, John and Gina. Well, thanks for having me. I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. It's Friday, so really can't complain.
So I was just wondering, I saw that one of your titles is founder of the band. And so I also noticed that you guys kind of each have your own style. So I was wondering how Keychain was founded and how all you guys came together.
Cool. Well, I mean, it's a very long story, so I'll try to keep it short. But basically, I tried getting Keychain together way back. It was with some other dudes, friends of mine, that, we just found common bands that we like to jam, Godsmack, Shinedown, stuff like that. So back then we didn't even have our own songs or anything like that. And then as the years went by, all of those guys, they fell off. And then Keychain was kind of put on ice for a while because I had some other like metal projects and stuff like that. And then when that fell apart, then I kind of went back to my roots and tried to find guys. And it took me quite a while. It took me quite a while before I finally found the guys that I have right now. And you're absolutely right. It's very true. We are very, very different taste-wise, music-wise when it comes to that, which is the reason why I believe that, our genre is not like a traditional, either rock or metal or whatever, but it's, a lot of different things put in one. So, yeah.
No, I think that's awesome. I think that's cool when a bunch of different people with different kind of tastes and views can come together, because it can really like add a lot, with different perspectives and different likings all thrown into the mix can come out with something really cool. So like right now, what's your favorite song you guys have right now?
I really like Primetime, which was the first single that we released off the Breaking Out EP. Other than that, it's kind of, it's a hard question. I think it depends, probably like on a daily or weekly basis, we have different songs that we prefer over the other ones. We have a few new ones that, they're very, very cool, but we still haven't recorded them. So, wouldn't really mean anything to listeners if I started naming them. But yeah, I think Primetime is really a track that we all enjoy and we're really proud of. So I would probably take that one.
Is there anything that's impressed you most about making the EP Breaking Out? What's caught your eye about it, if anything, possibly?
It was honestly, man, it was really an honor to work with Glenn Robinson. He's produced he's produced for many, many really cool bands. I mean, I can name a few of them on the top of my head. There's a Tea Party, there's Guar, there's Voivod, a bunch of really, really cool bands. And that guy also did stuff for U2 and the Rolling Stones and stuff like that. So it was really, something that we've never done before. Any of the guys record with the producer. And yeah, also having but yeah, like I was saying, so with Glenn Robinson was really, really just a complete amazing experience to record that guy. And it was we learned a lot for sure.
How much growth musically have you seen this band go through since the formation of it till now?
Oh my God! Honestly, John, it's immense. Like I said, I mean, we started just jamming out tracks that we liked, and then it went from that to like starting writing some more alternative rock type of vibe, like 3 Days Grace and stuff like that. And then when I had to put everything on ice, by the time I went back to it, it shifted. Like, it was always kind of like an alternative rock metal mix, but it never really was defined. Like, I in the past, like with every single song, like it wasn't really coherent, like it wasn't just adding up. But then ever since I started jamming with the guys who I have right now in the band, it just really all came together, man. And it's really, I mean, there's obviously many demos that will probably never be available to the public. But if you would hear, our early stuff up until now, it's really, really immense. The difference is huge.
I read that all you guys quit your jobs to do the North American tour. And I was just wondering, like, what kind of feeling is that? Like, was it scary, or was it like you just knew that it was right, or was it like, fuck it, like I'm excited to go in and tell these people like peace out, because I would love an excuse to do that at my job. But like, what is that experience like? Like, yeah, I'm going to go do this. I'm out.
It's an awesome question, Gina. I mean, to be honest, it's really just like you said. It just felt so right. And like, if we didn't do it then, I mean, last year when we did our first US tour, because we toured Canada before a little bit, but it was just, I don't know, it just kind of had to happen. I mean, you know, when I got the guys together, we really got into this like obsessive mode and like started jamming 3 times a week at least. And, you know, every day when we wouldn't jam, we would do stuff with the band. You know, we would network, we would go, you know, visit some local shows. We would, you know, try to push the product on the internet. So when you know, we had the opportunity to tour, it was like, well, you know, of course we're going to take it. It just made complete sense. I mean, you know, we literally already at that point, even before touring, we had already sacrificed everything. You know, like we put all our money into this band, we put all our free time into that band. And, you know, then it was just like a very, very logic step for us to just go on that tour, quit our jobs. And here we are just in that same cycle again. So we're getting ready to do that one more time.
No, I think that's awesome. And I think kind of like when you know, you definitely know. And I was watching some videos of you guys, and I guess some of them were kind of a jam session. And I was kind of curious on like, how does the music come together for you guys? Does someone write and then you go back to music, or do you guys just have some jam sessions and whatever comes out of it comes out of it? How does that process happen?
Well, typically I would write the whole demo music-wise. So I would write, you know, the guitars, the drums, the bass, and everything. And then when I find it good enough, then I would send it to JP, which is the singer. And he typically does a phenomenal job of, you know, adding his, you know, melodies and lyrics on top of that. And then once like a demo that's like 90% done, then we give it to the other guys for them to, you know, to learn the track on their own. And then finally at the very end, we sometimes occasionally, you know, add or, you know, change parts, but that's very, very little. I mean, honestly, like from the point where I send the music, it's already, you know, like, you know, 70, 80% there. So, you know, we sometimes, like I said, change some parts here and there, but we just have a formula that we found that, you know, we all liked and we all kind of like to stick to. So I don't really go too crazy, at least not for now, in, you know, experimenting and making every song completely different. Like we really have a structure that we just follow.
You mentioned that you guys have a lot of EPs and stuff and demos out. Why go the EP route? Why not just do a full length? I know, you know, full lengths cost a lot of money, but why just do EPs and not just save them and just do a full length?
Now, John, I wish that I had JP on the line, because that's been like an ongoing topic with the bandmates. It's that I'm really old school, and I really, you know, full length for me, that represents everything. That's like the, you know, the tipping point of, you know, a band's effort. And of course, you know, you're very right. I mean, obviously the financial part is sometimes very, very difficult, but I mean, all that aside, it's you know, we're actually working on the record right now. I'd say that we have I guess 9 or 10 tracks that are, you know, ready or almost ready. So I think we'll write maybe a couple more, and then we'll see. Because, you know, it's also you know, obviously financially, but then there's also the part where you really have to consider who you're going to work with as a producer, as an engineer, you know, because, you know, man, I mean, you know, it would be awesome to have like Ross Robinson produce the record, but, you know, I just don't know how realistic it is for a band, you know, that's at our stage right now. And yet again, we can't just, you know, record it in our, you know, our basement, our garage, and then be like, hey, this is great. So, you know, there's always lots of challenges, and, you know, but the full length will be out for sure. If I don't think it's going to come out this year, but I'm pretty positive it will early next year.
And what helps you keep your mind fresh and open to solos, guitar riffs, and stuff that you've not done before? What helps you?
Honestly, it's Dimebag, man. Dimebag from Pantera. Yeah, dude. I mean, it's just like the reason why I play guitar is that guy, and, you know, just his everything, dude. Everything, like his solos, just his riffs, his right hand, everything. So yeah, solos are a huge reason, you know, why I like him. It's because of that guy. So I mean, obviously I have like plenty of other influences, but really when you break it down, he's the real reason why.
Every time band practice I stop, Gina kicks me, tells me I need to get going, writing more. So I can't go. I don't know what to do.
What do you guys like? What's coming up next? What is something you're excited to like share with everyone?
Well, it's still not announced yet, so we're gonna make it exclusive. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we're actually getting ready to leave Montreal, Quebec, so where we live on the 29th.
Wow.
Yeah, on the 29th of March, we're gonna go down to Mexico. We're gonna do 3 shows with Crazy Town.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. I mean, they've been a huge influence on JP for the longest time, so he kind of gets to be a fanboy for those 3 days. I mean, we all like the band for sure, but JP's like a real big fan. And then after that, we are going to have a crazy run from the 6th of April, I believe, until the 22nd of July. We're going to be literally touring our asses off for 4 months, mostly in the States, and there's a few dates in Canada as well. So, yeah, we're going to be announcing those dates, I believe, on Monday. So, yeah, that should be great. I mean, we're going to, be playing in places where we've never been before, and we're just really, really looking forward to finally, showing up, the true essence of the band as much as possible, which is the live shows. I mean, recordings and videos are cool, but at the end of the day, music is it's entertainment. It's something that happens, in the present, on the spot. So that's what we aim to do.
Well, speaking of the live shows, what can fans expect at a show from you guys when they come out to see Keychain play?
Honestly, man, it's just 4 dudes, pure intensity. There's no no auto-tune, no backing tracks, none of that stuff, man. It's just really, really extremely powerful, raw, just 4 guys literally pouring their hearts out, man. I mean, it's just, we've been working on these tracks for so long at this point that we just can't wait to go on every single stage, no matter how big or small, or no matter how many people there are. We're just gonna crush every single stage there is out there, and it's really what makes us happy at the end of the day. And if we can, find people to share that with us, then it's a dream come true. So.
I was going to say, speaking of fanboying or fangirling, going back to that for a second, everyone has that like one person that you could either play with or like, open for or work with. Like, who is that for you guys?
Oh man, well, I'm going to try to speak for the whole band in general.
Mm-hmm.
I think, wow. Because, yeah, we have just so many different things. I mean, I'm going to really try to keep the list short here. I'm going to start with myself because I don't know for sure. As far as bands that I would love to open for, like, I would consider that being like a lifetime accomplishment. Mm-hmm. If we could play with either Korn or Slipknot, that for me personally, that would be it.
Go ahead, Gina. Go ahead.
Oh, no, that would be awesome. I'm a huge Slipknot fan and Korn, so that would be really cool.
Yeah, that's really, really a huge influence. And, I just, I've been listening to those bands since forever, as you can imagine, probably like you guys. So, yeah, that would definitely be for me personally. I know for my drummer, he's a huge, huge Dave Grohl fan. So I guess Foo Fighters, it wouldn't necessarily be like a perfect fit, I guess, music-wise. But, I mean, I know he's just a huge Dave Grohl fan, and Seven Dust. I know Cody would kill to play with Seven Dust. So
yes, sir. I was waiting for Gina to scream.
I know you are. Look, I was trying to keep it professional. Okay, like I'm trying not to fangirl myself.
I don't care.
Slipknot comes
this is my show. They don't like it. I don't have to listen to it.
And for JP, I mean, JP's kind of weird, man. When he listens to music, he listens to everything from like Bjork to Matthew Good to really, really this like I don't know. He likes Tool a lot as well. The Perfect Circle.
Yeah.
But I think for him, his 2 probably like biggest accomplishments. I mean, one is technically impossible. It would be Rage Against the Machine because they don't play anymore. But a band that's still active, I haven't asked him what he thinks about the new track, but I know that guy also, Linkin Park, that's a huge, huge band for him. So I think he would definitely be more than flattered to open for Linkin Park for sure.
I heard that the new Linkin Park is pretty heavy, but who's to say? I mean, look at Korn. I mean, their new album, I mean, it kicks ass. It's like old school Korn.
The new one is awesome.
So, yeah, I'm anxious to see this album that's coming out and Rex Brown's solo album.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's talk about local support for Keychain. how much local support do you guys get via fans, radio play, and venues? Do you get a lot of support up there?
John, to be honest with you, man, I mean, the reason why we play more in the States than in Canada is just because we don't get as much love in Canada than in the States, man. And I don't mean this in any, wrong way. I mean, we love Montreal, and, we have obviously like amazing people and friends and fans and family over here. But I don't know, man, for whatever reason, I think I thought about this for a while, man. I think that one of the problems that keep reoccurring is the fact that there's no bands that we can like really cooperate and really team up with. You know what I mean? Like it's with every like musical movement, there's always like a scene, and there's always like 4, 5, 10, 20 bands that kind of like are at the same place at the same time. And for us right now in Montreal, there's not really much people. I mean, we obviously play with a lot of bands, and there's a lot of great bands, but it's just like it's so hard for us to team up with anybody, and then for their fan base to like our music and vice versa, right? So it's kind of like a slow and grueling process, but I think it's getting better, man. I mean, we just have to play more and more, just which is what we're doing. Yeah, it's just a little bit hard over here than in the States, I guess, for whatever reason.
And it's a shame. This is what's really killing bands out, and not the money wise too, and plus things like that, but local support. I mean, it really just kills bands out. I mean, if they don't support them, I don't get this anymore. Used to, if you want to go watch great music, you'd get off your ass and go watch it. You don't have the comfort of like we do now. I think, with the internet and stuff like that, I like it, but man, to me, it's ruined people getting off their asses to go support bands, and getting out to these clubs.
Absolutely, man. I agree with you 100%. I think it's very, fortunate / unfortunate. Like, sure, you can get, a lot of publicity on the internet, but man, like when you do local shows, especially for bands that, have like less than, let's say, like 50 gigs under their belts, it's just so hard for those bands to, exactly like you said, man, it's just so hard for those bands to pull a draw that by the time they do like 30, 40 shows, they're so discouraged that they ended up, just like, whatever, quitting or finding other bands. And it's always like a vicious cycle like that.
Yeah, true.
Do you think, since you guys did the North American tour, do you think there's a difference between the music scene up there with you guys and in the States?
I mean, yeah. I first of all, I really found that there's just I mean, look, I could be wrong. I mean, but I don't know. I really felt that in the States, we just saw like a huge amount of love and support towards, in between bands, right? I remember, man, like we played last year. It was like a Wednesday or something in Denver, for example, and there was like 6 bands on the bill, and all the guys knew the other guys, and every single band killed it. I honestly, like, I didn't even like almost want to go on stage after that. It was like a Wednesday night, and there were maybe like 30, 40 people, and all the bands crushed it as if they were playing, like stadium, sized, like venues and places. It was just unbelievable for me because, like I said, in Canada, like, sure, like there's good gigs and everything like that, but I only remember it being like really intense, like if the show is bigger, like when we played with Nothing More, for example, when they were here, that was a cool show to play. But every time we play, like, I mean, once again, there are good shows, but there was just something about the States in general that really, really struck me. And ever since, we've been just trying to get as many gigs as we can down there because it's just, I don't know, it's just happening. I don't know.
Well, come to St. Louis.
Hey, we will actually. There is a date. I can't know by heart right now, but I'll send you an email later on for sure.
Awesome.
Let's talk about the digital era that we're in right now with recording albums and getting your music out there quicker. Do you prefer this the way it is now with recording and getting music out with the digital age and how it is today?
Honestly, John, if I could speak for myself, not for the entire band, personally, I'm really not a fan, man. Like I used to, cut out my lunch money and go buy records at, at HMVs which is closing, by the way, it's bankrupt. Mm-hmm. And I just really found that always, the wait until you get your hands on an actual record or like a CD or even tape,
was just so much more valuable. And, you know, when you unfold the booklet while listening to the CD and then you read all the credits.
Yes, I totally agree with this.
And the smell of it too. I mean, I don't think I'm nasty or anything like that. I mean, I'm just talking about like when you bought a cassette tape and you buy the digital or buy the compact disc, just the smell of it, man, was just like, wow, this is cool shit right here.
Well, I think there's so much, not just the music, but like when you get the booklet out,
yeah,
like, the band also puts in artwork into that, which is part of your work. And I think it's cool to get a peek of like inside their brain and what they're thinking about. And you don't get that same sort of experience these days without going to get, buying the CD.
Absolutely. I agree. I'm happy that we're all on the same page here. It's just, it's just, you know, there's so many different scenarios, but like, for example, if a group of guys, like they just, you know, they do it, let's say like more as a hobby, right? And then like, they don't necessarily want to tour or invest in like huge recordings. So, you know, they record a decent demo and they put it online and they get, you know, a few hundred or a few thousand hits on YouTube. And that's cool, man. Like I can appreciate that for sure. But it's just, you know, when you multiply that with every single garage band there is, and I don't mean to say garage as like an insult, I mean just like, you know, as a like a early stage of any band. When people put out so much material online, it really saturates it. And then no wonder people start getting like these short attention spans and listens to only like 10, 15 seconds of the track before they skip. Like, perfect example, when you bought a tape back in the day, you'd listen through the whole record.
Yeah.
You know, and you wouldn't skip tracks. You wouldn't, you know, you would enjoy it. You would really pay attention. And that's why people knew the lyrics to the songs. That's why people knew how to sing along to the solos. Because, you know, it was just different times. So it's just so much more challenging for bands to make something that's like so exceptional and so mind-blowing that people actually hang on to it. So like I said, I mean, there is a benefit or some benefit to the digital age and, you know, the how fast things go. But deep down, once again, for me personally, I think that it hurts the industry and the bands more than it brings benefit.
Brian, I'm sure you did this too when you was a kid going to the record stores like this and just buying an album just because of the artwork on the front of it. You know, I bought Motorhead's Ace of Spades when I was a kid because it just looked badass, just because of the cover.
For sure, dude, for sure. That was the whole thing, man. I just had that conversation with a friend of mine a few weeks ago. Exact same thing. He was just telling me how he went to the record store one day and he saw the first Korn record and he was so intrigued by it. That's just like a perfect example also. Yeah, for sure. I definitely bought plenty and plenty of records just by looking at the cover.
I still have the Poison cassette tape of the big long tongue hanging out before they cut it, you know, before they covered it up. Yeah, I'm old. I don't care. I got mileage. It's okay. Go ahead, Gina.
You know?
I wasn't making fun of you. I think it's great. I mean, I totally, like, I was thinking the same thing. Like, man, I'm old because I remember going and getting a CD and, like, locking myself in my room and just reading the lyrics while I'm listening to the music.
Yeah.
And I'm like, sorry, I don't really see anybody doing that anymore. Like, it's not the same experience. And I'm like, am I just old because
no,
I remember doing that? Like, nobody does that anymore.
I agree. And look at vinyl. Vinyl's making a big comeback now, too.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And I totally used to pick things out just based on the artwork. And not just music, but, like, horror movies, too. Like, I would go to, like, the, you know, like, Blockbuster and totally pick out something based on, you know, the cover. But yeah, I totally used to do that with CDs. I would just go and be like, oh, this looks really cool and weird. I'm going to pick up this one. And, you know, who knows if it's good or not? Like,
right.
And I just feel like that's totally part of, like, an authentic experience. And I feel like, you know, with the digital age, there are a lot of benefits to it and sharing your music and getting it out there. But I'm kind of really glad you said this, but it really does get things kind of saturated. I would always recommend, like, just going to your local music scene and seeing who's there that night. Even if you don't know them or not, just go check it out because you never know where you're going to find something that you totally fall in love with.
When I was playing music back in the day when I was in high school, freshman year of high school, there was a local band called 400 Square Feet. And I was like, what a name. That's lame. No, they fucking kicked your ass is what they did. That's why they were called 400 Square Feet, because they would kick your ass 400 square feet. Yeah, that's some good shit right there.
Speaking of name, like, so what's in the name, Keychain? How did that come about?
That's well, I mean, look, I'm gonna be really honest, but there is a meaning to that name. But the reason why we chose Keychain is because we really needed and wanted something that was short, quick, and that had like a nice ring to it. Keychain. It's just like it's very, there's no confusion. It's not like a band name where there's like 4 or 5 words, and then it complicates the logo.
Right.
It's just very, very simple, straightforward. But the meaning behind that name, Keychain, is because I can speak once again for myself, but I'm sure that the bandmates feel exactly the same way. We hold each our own keys, and we have the power to liberate ourselves from the chains that are holding us in life. So, whatever it is, that you find difficult, if, you have, problems with, a girlfriend or a boyfriend or whatever, job or anything, that, you always have to know that you have, in you and from within to get rid of those chains. And for us, that liberation comes with the expression of music. Yeah, that's the whole point behind that name.
In your own opinion, what does Keychain bring to the table for music that's not out there right now, man? What do you offer differently?
I think that I think what we offer is just a really honest, authentic love to the mixture of hip hop and metal all together. Mm-hmm. I think that it really comes at a natural pace, and it's not forced. It's not something that we do because we think it's gonna have some mainstream success or anything like that. It's just we're really not shy, and we if when you guys come in St. Louis and check out the show, you'll see that we play oftentimes covers and medley of all the bands that we love. It could be Rage Against the Machine, could be some Limp Bizkit, it could be Korn, could be Slipknot. We just really offer a heartfelt touch of that of the genre that we each found ourselves loving so much. And I honestly think that a lot of the bands these days, why we differ from all the bands that play a similar style of music, speaking of the new bands, right? It's because all these bands that I keep hearing, they're great. I mean, there's a bunch of bands that I love out there that are very new, but they're all so technical. They're all so like super harmonized in their vocals and super perfect, and like everything sounds just like so crisp and so modern. And we have like a more raw kind of, simple approach. Like we just don't go and have these super complicated, guitar patterns and show off how much we've practiced. No, like we have really, Pantera style, ballsy, simple riffs, very bouncy music. And, the vocals are just straight up, like very rarely harmonized. And, it's just something that we, once again, like I said in the beginning, man, we're just 4 dudes. We just love what we do. And I think that's something that I've realized that it's missing a lot in the new bands that I hear that are more or less playing this type of music.
No, that's awesome. I didn't, this is more of a statement, not a question, but going back to earlier, you said something about your genre and how there's a lot of different types into your music. And I saw a picture of you guys and someone has a t-shirt that says genre is dead. And I just really loved it. Like, I loved it. I thought that was such a great idea because, these days everybody wants to label something and make you like fit into a certain category. And I just think it's really cool that like, you can be whatever you want to be. And like, that was a really cool, like as simple as the t-shirt was, I just really thought it was neat. And I was like, I kind of want one. So I don't know. I don't remember who was wearing that in that photo, but props to them because I thought that was cool.
Yeah, I hate when they say genre. I don't know.
It's like, you have to be this. And,
yeah.
And it's like, no, you don't.
Right. Right. Well, I'm going to make my own genre of music. I'm going to put these bands in it called crap. How about that one?
Yeah.
No, it's true. It's true. Really, at the end of the day, it really comes down to, if it's a good track or track, if the band is good or it's not good. I mean, obviously, everyone's different. Everyone has their own taste, but labeling something and not listening, or even worse, not giving something a chance because they're labeled somehow. That's just ridiculous.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just because your buddy says it sucks, don't mean you don't. Don't mean you can't listen to it and take your own judgment from it.
Exactly.
Have you ever messed up on stage and had to recover? During a song? I've had and I ask this question because I think it's funny that working with different bands in my area, I can always tell a good band when they mess up and nobody notices because how quick they can recover. And I wonder how much that happens to other people.
Well, to be honest, I obviously look. I mean, I mess up definitely. Between few and there. I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. It depends what you consider being a mess up. Like, I don't play every single note, the exact same way that I should be doing it. But I don't ever remember having we've never like stopped a song. You know what I mean? Like we've never
like had a horrible, embarrassing moment where you.
Exactly. Yeah, no, we practiced like way too much as a band to come to that point.
So you guys have your shit together.
We try. But I mean, there's mess ups like when I put the finger on the wrong fret, or like if JP sings a note like either sharp or flat, or if Cody misses a hit on his tom when he's doing the roll, like these things happen for sure. But in general, like I don't ever remember like a complete disaster. But we do some mistakes obviously at I would say pretty much almost every show, if not every show.
No, that's awesome. Just because I feel like that's really very like normal and human, and there's been bands I've talked to and they're like, no, we get everything right all the time, and I'm like, that's such bullshit. But like, you're human, like things happen, and I just think it's cool when someone can be like, yeah, we kind of screw up from time to time, because I mean, in all honesty, you're up there to have fun and you want to do this for a reason, so I'm always curious like to see anyone's stories of like a total like, oh man, this happened this one time.
Oh, for sure. I mean, look, I'll be honest with you. I think that there are bands that, like that guy said, oh man, we never fuck up. We always get it straight. But those bands are typically the bands that have absolutely no stage presence and that they look bored.
Yes.
And that's something that I lose my mind when I see and I don't even see nobody getting into it. Like we climb on each other's gear on the drum sets. We wrap the wires and the cables around each other's necks when we play, because we really like.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
Yeah, we just have fun, and like I said, we're just four guys, and we love what we do. So if there's a little technical glitch or a fuck up like that, like it's worth it, because we get to fully express ourselves while we're on stage. And I think that for like super technical musicians, they'll say, that guy fucked up there, but at the end of the day, he's probably going to appreciate the passion that we showed on stage, as opposed to looking at my fretboard and keeping my hair tied. I mean, that's just
right.
It's not for me.
Or if your singer misses half the lyrics like Vince Neil does with Motley Crue.
Exactly.
I feel good. All right. I kid. Maybe not.
Maybe not. Yeah.
Maybe not. Okay, I'm going to be honest here. It hurts my soul to watch him sing. It does. Nowadays it does. It's like, do you need the all the lyrics? I will write them for you. Hell, you can get them. You're the lead singer. Come on.
Oh my gosh.
What the hell? What made you want to become a musician, Brian? What was that spark that said that's exactly what I want to do, other than listening to Vince Neil play?
Well, I'm actually a huge Motley Crue fan, and I think none of the guys in the band are really. So that's kind of like where they get me. Like that's where they poke me. Like, oh, shut up, Brian. Like you listen to Motley.
Oh, I love Motley. I just it kills my soul to hear Vince the way he is now. For
sure. I feel it. I mean, I just have too many bands and too many influences that it's so hard for me to pinpoint to just like one specific, like event or one specific song or band. But, there was a show way back, like in the late 90s. It was called Chart Attack. that was like kind of the equivalent of MTV's Headbanger Ball, where they would like only play that episode after midnight so that the kids wouldn't be exposed to like, you know, metal, obviously. So yeah, that was a cool show. That was on Much Music. That was like a Canadian.
I remember Much Music.
Awesome. And yeah, man, I think that was really one of the strongest moments where like I realized that, you know, I was a kid, right, and I just like wanted to stay up late just to watch, you know, these bands. I don't know, they premiered lots of, you know, Drowning Pool, Static X, you know, a lot of those bands. And that was, you know, one thing that I can think of that really, really made me, you know, want to pursue music. You know, like I said, guitar-wise, influence-wise, you know, Dime, I mean, that guy is just, like, untouchable. And honestly, like, it's maybe a little bit, like, corny to say, but really, dude, like, every single sound, every song that I've heard in general, it just, you know, it just, you know, it creates a perception, it changes, you know, a little something in my brain, I guess. So, yeah, just music in general, man. I mean, there's just, you know, I really wouldn't see myself. You know how they typically, you know, like big bands get asked, like, oh, if you hadn't made it as a musician, like, what would you be doing?
Mm-hmm.
I would just be either playing a different instrument or playing in a different band. Like, for me, like, music is everything. I just can't see myself in anything else.
So I'm really excited for you guys to come to St. Louis because I know you guys you've been here before, haven't you? I think I read that you were here like a year ago or so.
Yeah, that show we didn't end up doing because it was closer to the beginning of the tour, and we had some problems with our work visas at the time, and so we just ended up missing that St. Louis date. So it's actually going to be our first time this time around. Finally.
Oh, okay, that's neat. I was just when we were talking about your kind of stage presence, it's when talking about messing up and stuff, I really like that a band who has a good stage presence and doesn't stand up there and is stiff like we were saying. So I'm excited to see you guys perform live to see what it's all about.
Awesome. I can't wait. I believe the venue is called Foo Bar, if my memory is not. Oh, okay. And I'm really not sure of the date right now, but it's either early May or late April.
That's cool. That's awesome.
I don't know if you guys get this or not, but I'm going to ask anyway.
Mm-hmm.
What's it mean to you when you receive an email from a fan or prior to the shows or after the shows? They'll come up to you guys and say, hey, look, your music has pulled me through a tough time. It's gave me inspiration to overcome obstacles, or it's just made me to enjoy and relax and get away from the everyday bullshit that we go through. Do you ever get that? And if so, what's it mean to you guys?
Honestly, John, it means everything to us. Just because, you know, the fact that we don't do this for any other reason than for the love, the fact that people connect and take their time out of their day to write a message, and we've been getting, you know, knock on wood, more and more of these messages come in. And we reply to every single one of those, and not only reply like thanks, but we actually engage in a conversation. And a lot of times, you know, we would also just ask for the person's address, and we would just send out free merch, just because it really means so much to us. I mean, once again, you know, we're obviously not in this for the money, because if we were, we would probably be like doctors or lawyers or stuff like that. So, you know, the fact that we just jam in our crummy, you know, rehearsal space 3 times a week, and then, you know, quit our jobs and put like thousands of dollars in equipment that we carry, you know, up and down the stairs in small venues on Mondays and Tuesdays. When somebody connects with that, it's just absolutely amazing. So yeah, man, we definitely don't take nothing for granted. And the people that take the time to write to us or to see us after the shows, we make sure to really express ourselves, how much it means to us.
I have been playing the 3 tracks that you sent me, and I'm very impressed with what you guys do. And as a fan, thank you guys.
Thank you, brother, so much, man. John, it really means a lot to us. And yeah, thank you also once again for the opportunity. It's really amazing.
Gina, you like to add anything?
No, I'm good. It was awesome.
Brian, how can folks stay in touch with you guys? Pick up some merchandise when it's available, or if it's available right now. How can they do that? What's tour dates, things like that?
Cool. So if you prefer email, it's keychainofficial@gmail.com. Otherwise, social media, that's where everything is happening, I guess. So it's most of the time, it's always Keychain Official. So facebook.com/Keychain Official, Instagram.com/Keychain Official. Twitter's a little bit different. That's at twitter.com/Keychain_band. And like I said, we really keep that up to date, and we reply to every single message that we get. There's merch right now, but we always prefer if you come out at our shows, and that's when the real exchange happens. So yeah, like I said, we're going to be hitting the road. So early April, I think we're going to do easily 30 states this time, if not even 40. All the dates that are confirmed are available on Bands in Town. So that's bandsintown.com/keychain. Oh, my dog is barking. And
I thought it was Gator.
she wants to get in that interview as well. And yeah, so bandsintown.com/keychain. You'll see there's like 50 dates as of right now, but it will climb up to 90. Otherwise, one of the bigger shows that's worthwhile mentioning, if any of y'all can come down, it's going to be happening at this year's Rocklahoma.
Yeah, Rocklahoma.
Yeah. So that's a pretty cool event. So if anybody wants to come down, say hi. We'll be there all 3 days. So it's definitely a good time to have a good time.
I'd like to see you guys at Louder in Life in October in Louisville, Kentucky. That'd be awesome.
Oh man, that would be amazing. I would love that. I should probably send an email, see if that's even possible for a band like us.
Hey Brian, before I let you go, you care to do a promo for the show, good sir?
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. Hey there, this is Brian from Keychain, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Everybody stick around. We got some great music coming up, and you only hear these interviews right here on BODS Mayhem Hour and Uber City Radio. I want to thank my special co-host,
Gina.
And Brian from Keychain. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Have a good day.
Thank you, John and Gina, so much. Means a lot.
Thanks.